one of Dave Rubin's big ideas got a little bit too big for not only the host of the show that was interviewing him, but also apparently himself. Take a look.
Think about it this way. These people that say, okay, you can have 8-month abortions. Doesn't matter why you want an 8-month abortion, you can have an 8-month abortion. Well, now generally those are the people who also will tell you that they're for gay people. Now when science is able to actually identify the sexuality of a child, and now a Christian conservative, forget Christian conservative, and anyone says, I found out that I'm 8 months pregnant and my child is gay, but I don't want a gay child, I should be allowed to have an abortion. The lefty's going to say yes. I don't know, they're going to have to pick. Am I for gay people or am I for abortion? So you have to confront them with these ethical dilemmas, and usually you'll watch their heads explode because they're not that good at thinking these things through.
What? I'm sorry, what? I mean, apparently my head has exploded because too many big ideas. Coming at me right now. I need to put my brain in recovery mode. No, that made no sense. Nowhere in that rant did Dave Rubin come anywhere close to making any sort of a rational point. I mean, when science comes up with a way to detect the sexuality of a fetus, what's the left going to do now? I mean, checkmate libtards. Really? I feel dumber watching that. So now let's break it down, right? All right, so you want me to look at this dilemma. Let's do this, right? Because he's putting this out as a way to try to, and by the way, it's obviously a hypothetical moral dilemma, to try to stump the left. Oh, you can't be, pro-abortion and pro-gay people at the same time. Impossible. Actually, yeah, you can. But no, he thinks that this is an own, like, see, you're in favor of the gay. What happens if somebody aborts a baby for being gay? Gotcha, libs. Big ideas. No, I don't know if you understand this, right? But here's my thing. It's none of my goddamn business if a woman has an abortion. No matter what, right? That's her business. And yes, I am in favor of gay rights. So look, I don't know. I'm not going to play Dave's stupid hypothetical game of where he is pitting women's rights versus LGBT rights, because it's stupid. And there's no winning in that answer. And of course, it's a no-win scenario that he has dreamed up to stump leftists, right? And that's where the premise is. It is incredibly flawed. So now also he put in more flawed information here, and that's about late-term abortions, right? So he keeps talking about 8 months. So it's this Christian conservative comes up and she's pregnant. She's 8 months pregnant. Finds out that her fetus is gay. Oh, what are you going to do now, lefties? Well, hold on here. Late-term abortions. It goes. This builds in the premise that is false. That late-term abortions are not rare, right, and not done usually in the instance where the fetus is already dead or is not going to survive birth or long after birth, and the mother's life is also in danger, right? So it's not like it's a flippant decision like, oh my God, I just found out that this kid's going to have brown hair and I'm anti-brown hair. No, I like blondes, so I'm just going to abort this baby. I'm going to try again. No, that's not what happens. And it's not flippant like that. And to try to put out that false narrative is just absolutely ridiculous. All right, so there's more, right? So now Dave Rubin is using this again, this fake talking point that leftists love abortion, right? And that we love late-term abortion with no restrictions. He said that, right? That we want them completely unregulated so that women can have unfettered free access to late-term abortions whenever they want, right? In reality, again, we want it available if it's necessary, and it doesn't mean we like the idea. It's just the fact that it's not our choice, and we shouldn't be making or having the government make that choice for women, right? And so that's where we're at. And Dave seems to forget that. And he also seems to forget that there's a point where, in reality, he could have actually made a good cogent point against the left and against abortions. And for example, China, right? in China, they've got the one-child policy, right? And so the government has actually set up a situation where in the country where you can only have a set number of children and they have access to abortion, right? It's not really a big deal in Asian countries to go and have abortions, right? It's just part of what they're able to do. And so in China and also in India, right? People will choose to abort females in order to have males. You only have so many children, and so they will choose to have males so they can have male heirs, right? If Dave Rubin were to bring up that point and say, do you agree with the Chinese? Do you think that that's a good thing, being able to choose between, for arbitrary reasons to abort your child? Well, that might be a better point, right? Because it's a far more effective point against the practice of predetermination and abortion, especially since you have the government that's setting this up, okay? But again, Dave Rubin makes up something dumb. Why make up something dumb, a hypothetical situation, when you can use actual real examples that might be a little bit more difficult for people to be able to argue against? And you know why? It's because Dave Rubin is an intellectual. He plays an intellectual. He doesn't actually have big ideas. Dave Rubin has average ideas. He's an average person. But because there are so many stupid people on the right wing, average people like Dave appear to be super smart when they adopt his talking points, right? And look, I'm not saying that I'm not average. I'm pretty average. I'm not a super genius, right? But I do know a grifter when I see one. Just saying. All right. More fun stuff, right? So early on in that video, Dave Rubin had to backtrack, right? Because first he says, well, what if it's a Christian conservative woman that has a fetus that's gay? Well, if you're a Christian conservative, then morally you should be against abortion, right? So then he quickly backtracked. He fixed that by saying, oh, well, forget the conservative Christian. Just anybody. Well, why would anybody else want to abort a fetus simply for the fact that they're gay? I don't see any other type of person other than someone who with Christian conservative type belief systems choosing abortion because of that child's sexuality. I mean, that in another way, by the way, goes against their alleged beliefs, because then they would be admitting that being gay is not a lifestyle choice at all, right? But is instead genetic or whatever, right? And so it can't be fixed with more Jesus or any kind of therapy, which again, that therapy doesn't actually work. And finally, of course, the admission that, well, if God's infallible, then God made that child gay. And according to Christianity, God doesn't make mistakes. So, boom. Facts, logic, owned. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.